Hello everyone, this is Pratima and welcome back to Planet Physiology. Today we shall discuss MCQs on gastrointestinal system. Most of the questions are PYQs from MGR University and few from other sources. Let's begin with the questions on the topic Introduction to Gastrointestinal Tract. First question. Slow waves in GIT are believed to be initiated by A. I cells, B. K cells, C. Interstitial cells of Kahl, and D. S cells. And the answer is option C. Interstitial cells of Kahl. These are specialized pacemaker cells found in smooth muscle layer of GIT as indicated by the orange color in this picture. They generate rhythmic electrical slow waves which serve as basis for regulating frequency and coordination of gastrointestinal contractions. These slow waves trigger muscle contractions responsible for movement of the food through the digestive tract. I cells secrete CCK-PZ, K cells secrete GIP, while S cells release secretin. Another question on the same topic. The rate of BER, that is basic electrical rhythm, is maximum in A. Stomach, B. Duodenum, C. Ileum, and D. Sigmoid. The correct answer is option B. Duodenum. BE are nothing but slow waves and the rate in the stomach is 4 per minute. It is about 12 per minute in duodenum and it falls to about 8 per minute in distal ileum. In colon, BER rate rises from 2 per minute at cecum to about 6 per minute at sigmoid. Note that these values are from Ganong's Review of Medical Physiology. Next question, again from MGR University. The basic resting membrane potential of gastrointestinal smooth muscle can be affected by A. Stimulation of acetylcholine, B. Enzyme produced by gastrointestinal secretions, C. Enteric nervous system, and D. Peristalsis. In this case, option B and D are definitely not the answers, but a bit of confusion between option A and C. Basic resting membrane potential is affected by many polypeptides and neurotransmitters. As shown in this figure, acetylcholine is the prominent stimulator of interstitial cells of Kahl and increases the number of spikes and the tension of smooth muscles, whereas nitric oxide and epinephrine decrease the number of spikes and tension of the smooth muscles. ICC act as mediator between enteric nervous system and the smooth muscle cells and hence the mediate response of enteric nervous system. Due to this fact, I feel option C, enteric nervous system, is the better choice over option A. Option C also completes the stem of the question properly. But if you have different opinion and a valid reason or explanation in favor of option A, do post them in the comment box below. Okay, coming to the next question. The condition in which food accumulates in esophagus with esophageal dilatation is A. Achalasia cardia, B. Gastroesophageal reflux, C. Receptive relaxation, and D. Hirschsprung's disease. Yes, the answer is option A. Achalasia cardia. Achalasia means failure to relax. In this condition, lower esophageal sphincter fails to relax due to deficiency of myenteric plexus in lower esophageal sphincter. Hence, food accumulates in esophagus leading to its dilatation. Barium swallow in such patients show typical rat tail or bird beak appearance as you can see in this picture. In gastroesophageal reflux, there is incompetence of lower esophageal sphincter, allowing reflux of gastric contents into the esophagus. Receptive relaxation is the normal relaxation of the intestine occurring distal to the point of contraction during peristalsis. While Hirschsprung's disease is nothing but megacolon, which is due to deficiency of myenteric plexus, but this deficiency is in sigmoid. Next question. Myenteric plexus of esophagus is deficient at the lower esophageal sphincter in which of the following conditions? A. Gastroesophageal reflux disease, B. Achalasia cardia, C. Airophagia, and D. Hirschsprung's disease. And you already know the answer. It's option B. Achalasia cardia. Now coming to the salivary secretion. Maximum amount of saliva is secreted by. Options are A. Parotid gland, B. Submaxillary gland, C. Sublingual gland, and D. All the glands contribute equally. Yes, the correct answer here is submaxillary gland. It is also known as submandibular gland, and it contributes to 70% of the salivary secretion. Some students get confused with parotid gland. Even though parotid is the largest salivary gland, its contribution is just 25%. Next question. Secretion of saliva increases in all except A. When the sympathetic nerves to the gland are stimulated, B. When touch receptors in the mouth are stimulated, C. Just before vomiting, and D. More by sweet than by sour food. And the answer is option D. Usually sour food causes more salivation than the sweet food. And also remember that both sympathetic as well as parasympathetic stimulation increase salivary secretion, but sympathetic stimulation causes less copious secretion because of vasoconstriction. Next question. Which of the following cell in the stomach secrete HCl? A. Enterochromaffin-like cells, B. Mucus cells, C. Parietal cells, and D. Peptic cells. Yes, an easy question. HCl is secreted by parietal cells, which are also known as auxentic cells. They secrete intrinsic factor along with hydrochloric acid. ECL cells are nothing but neuroendocrine cells and secrete histamine. Peptic or chief cells secrete enzymes, mainly the pepsinogen, while mucus cells secrete mucus. Next question. Proenzyme pepsinogen is secreted mainly from which of the following structures? A. Acinar cells of pancreas, B. Ductal cells of the pancreas, C. Epithelial cells of duodenum, and D. Gastric glands of the stomach. And answer is option D. Gastric glands of the stomach. To be specific, chief cells or peptic cells. Next question. Following is the histamine receptor blocking drug. A. Ranitidine, B. Omeprazole, C. Atropine, and D. Calcium bicarbonate. So all these drugs are used to decrease acid secretion by the stomach. Drugs like ranitidine block H2 receptors in the parietal cells, and hence the answer is option A, ranitidine. Omeprazole, pantoprazole, they block proton pumps, that is hydrogen potassium ATPase, while atropine is muscarinic blocker. Calcium bicarbonate acts as antacid and neutralizes gastric acid. Next question. Which of the following hormones is secreted by the stomach and plays an important role in central control of food intake? Options are A. Gastrin, B. CCK, C. Ghrelin, D. Peptide YY. So out of these hormones, CCK and peptide YY is released from intestine. They are not secreted by the stomach. So these are out of question. So remaining gastrin and ghrelin. Even though gastrin is secreted by the stomach, it does not play any role in central regulation of food intake, and hence the option C, ghrelin, is the correct answer. Ghrelin is secreted by the stomach during fasting, and it increases food intake by releasing neuropeptide Y from hypothalamic neurons. Next question. Gastric emptying time is highest for A. Carbohydrate rich diet, B. Protein rich diet, C. Fat rich diet, and D. Balanced diet. And the answer is option C, fat rich diet. Fatty food remains in the stomach for about 6 hours, while carbohydrate rich food remains just for 2 to 3 hours. So gastric emptying time is highest for fatty foods and lowest for carbohydrate rich food. Now the question on exocrine pancreas. The hormone that causes secretion of pancreatic juice rich in bicarbonate ions is A. Gastrin, B. Cholecystokinin, C. Secretin, and D. Motilin. And the answer is option C, secretin. It is released in response to acid in the duodenum from S cells and leads to secretion of bicarbonate ions from the pancreas as well as from biliary secretion. CCK increases enzyme secretion in pancreatic juice. Same question was repeated in January 24 but with changes in options, and the answer remains the same, secretin, option C. Next question. Acetylcholine acts on acinar cells via A. Cyclic AMP, B. Cyclic GMP, C. Calcium ions, and D. Phospholipase C. And the answer is option D. Phospholipase C. Acetylcholine as well as CCK both act via phospholipase C mechanism, while secretin acts via cyclic AMP mechanism on the acinar cells of the pancreas. Next question. Colipase is an enzyme produced by A. Stomach, B. Lingual gland, C. Duodenum, and D. Exocrine pancreas. An easy question. Colipase is one of the enzymes for fat digestion which is secreted by exocrine pancreas. So answer is option D. Next question on applied aspect. In acute pancreatitis, which of the following causes disruption of pancreatic tissue and necrosis of the surrounding fat? A. Trypsin, B. Lecithin, C. Lysophosphatidylcholine, and D. All of the above. Answer is option A. Trypsin. During acute pancreatitis, activation of trypsin within the pancreatic tissue initiates cascade of enzymatic reactions, resulting in autodigestion of pancreas. It also causes inflammation and necrosis. Lecithin, lysophosphatidylcholine are not directly concerned with causing disruption of the pancreatic tissue and necrosis, and hence the answer is option A. Trypsin. Next question. The following are the functions of bile salts except A. Reduce the surface tension, B. Responsible for emulsification of the fat, C. Fats are converted into fatty acids and glycerol, and D. Forms micelle. Bile salts reduce surface tension of the fat globule and cause emulsification of the fat. Both these actions help in fat digestion. Digestive end products are also surrounded by bile salts to form micelle, while option C, conversion of fat into fatty acid and glycerol, is the function of lipases and not the bile salt, and hence the correct answer is option C. Next question. Acidification of bile occurs in A. Liver, B. Hepatic duct, C. Gallbladder, and D. Duodenum. Bile tends to be alkaline on an average. The pH of the common duct bile is about 7.5 to 8.05. During storage of bile in gallbladder, as bile gets concentrated, pH of the gallbladder bile falls to about 6.8 to 7.65 depending upon the duration of the storage. It becomes more acidic with longer duration of the storage, and hence the correct answer is option C, gallbladder. Next question. Choleritics cause, options are A. Contraction of gallbladder, B. Concentration of bile, C. Acidification of bile, and D. Increased bile production. Choleritics are the substances which increase secretion of bile by the liver, and hence the answer is option D. Increased bile production. Next question. Which of the following is the most important physiologic choleretic? A. Bile acids, B. CCK-PZ, C. Entry of acidic chyme in duodenum, and D. Secretin. Actually, bile acids, secretin, vagal stimulation, all are the important choleretics. But the most important physiological choleretic is bile acids, and hence the answer is option A, bile acids. In this context, remember the term cholagogue as well. Cholagogues are the substances which cause contraction of the gallbladder, and the most important cholagogue is CCK-PZ. Coming to the next question. Decrease in which of the following would be expected in congenital absence of enterokinase? A. Incidence of pancreatitis, B. Glucose absorption, C. Fat digestion, and D. Protein assimilation. Enterokinase is the enzyme necessary for initial activation of trypsinogen to trypsin, which then further exerts positive feedback to activate further trypsinogen. Hence, the enterokinase deficiency is associated with poor protein digestion and absorption. And hence, for this question, the correct answer is option D, protein assimilation. Now coming to the questions on gastrointestinal motility. The contraction that occurs only in colon is A. Segmentation contraction, B. Tonic contractions, C. Mass action contractions, and D. Peristalsis. Yes, and the correct answer is option C, mass actions or mass movement. Mass action usually leads to initiation of defecation reflex. Next question. Normally, the angle between anus and the rectum is approximately A. 15 degree, B. 45 degrees, C. 90 degrees, and D. 180 degrees. And answer is option C, 90 degrees. As indicated in this picture, normal angle is about 90 degrees and with staining it increases. Next question. In infants, defecation often follows the meals. What is the cause for increased colonic contractions after meals? A. Increased circulatory levels of CCK, B. Increased levels of somatostatin, C. Enterogastric reflex, and D. Gastrocolic reflex. The correct answer is option D, gastrocolic reflex, where distension of the stomach by food initiates contractions of the colon. This frequently initiates desire for defecation. Enterogastric reflex is the inhibition of gastric motility and secretion due to entry of chyme into the duodenum. Now coming to the last topic, digestion and absorption. Fructose is absorbed by A. Sodium dependent transport, B. Osmosis, C. Simple diffusion, and D. Facilitated diffusion. Fructose is transported by facilitated diffusion from intestinal lumen into the enterocyte by GLUT5 and out of the enterocyte, that is on the basolateral surface, by GLUT2. It is sodium independent transport because it is facilitated diffusion. Sodium dependent transport is utilized by glucose and galactose but not by fructose. And hence the correct answer is option D, facilitated diffusion. Next question. Fructose is transported across the apical membranes of the enterocytes by A. SGLT1, B. GLUT2, C. GLUT4, and D. GLUT5. So across the apical membrane, that is the luminal surface of the intestine, fructose is absorbed by GLUT5. From the basolateral surface, it is GLUT2. So here the correct answer is option D, GLUT5. Another question again on fructose absorption. Which of the following is true regarding fructose absorption in intestine? A. Occurs by sodium co-transport mechanism, B. Transported by facilitated diffusion, C. Transported by SGLT1, and D. Transported by GLUT3. So as already discussed, it is option B, transported by facilitated diffusion. And the last question of the session. All of these are required for digestion of dietary fats except A. Bile pigments, B. colipase, C. Bile salts, and D. Pancreatic lipase. The correct answer is bile pigments. Option A. Bile pigments, that is bilirubin, is metabolic end product of hemoglobin which is excreted via bile. It has no role in fat digestion and absorption. So that's all for this session. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment section below and I will be happy to answer them. Are you new to my channel? Then please subscribe it and press the bell icon to stay updated with the new releases. If you like my video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Thank you for tuning in and see you in the next video.